Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's not really fun to be a gamer right now. Like everywhere you turn around, it sucks. Like, oh, over on the PlayStation side, it sucks. Over on the Xbox side, guess what? It sucks. It literally sucks no matter where you go. It's just dude, this year has just really sucked, man. Like, I'm excited for the Steam machine. I'm on the queue list, but man, that thing's like super expensive because hardware is expensive, because RAM is expensive, and storage is expensive because of AI, and it's just like a whole situation. Yesterday, Xbox came out and announced that they're going to be laying off 32 jobs within this year's physical year. They already laid off, I believe, 1,600 yesterday, which means if you know your math, there's another 1,600 that's going to be getting laid off within now in the next physical year for Xbox. PlayStation isn't much better. PlayStation, since they are like pretty much untouchable in the video game market, they just can go ahead with all the anti-consumer practices they want and they can go unchallenged. This is the problem when we have a company that is basically a monopoly over the video game industry. Everybody looks at PlayStation as the default console. This is because of Xbox's own stupidity during the end of the Xbox 360, ushering in the Xbox One era. This was all Don Matrick and the TV, and the DRM. Xbox shot themselves in the foot, and they never were able to recover after that. And when you have a company like PlayStation that now has zero competition, you can go in and you can do whatever you want. PlayStation Plus, let's go ahead and raise it. Why? Because of economic times. Like PlayStation 5 base and Pro and all this stuff, let's go ahead and raise the price of that. Guess what? We're getting rid of physical media in 2028. We're shutting down the PlayStation 3 and the Vita store. You can get away with this because you already built your fan base. People aren't going to just switch over to Xbox. I could be wrong, but let's be real. Xbox isn't doing much better. Xbox is pretty much, I mean, Xbox is a hot mess, man. Like Phil Spencer came in, and I don't want to be the type of person that throws Phil Spencer under the bus because we don't really know what happened. We really don't know what happened. I feel like Phil Spencer had a vision, and then Satya Nadella came in and changed everything up. And like I believe with every fiber of my being that Phil Spencer did not want to put games on PlayStation. That Phil Spencer did not want to put Halo on PlayStation. I feel like that came up from higher up. And what happened was you started shooting yourself in the foot, and now you're doing damage control. So you're laying off these studios and closing down these studios because you acquired so much. And I think Phil Spencer's original vision for that was to be the Netflix of gaming. In order to be the Netflix of gaming, you have to have IPs, you have to have titles, you have to have like games that people want to go into your Game Pass service for. How do you get that? By buying all these studios so they are making games for Game Pass. But the problem was Game Pass never became what Phil Spencer wanted to become. It never became a 100 million user service. It just never did. And what happened was Microsoft wanted to see a return on the investment, so they had to start releasing games on multiple platforms. That's really what happened at the end of the day. But Microsoft's failure is because of multiple different things over a decade of bad decision making. I saw Phil Spencer's vision, but unfortunately, I feel like we were never able to get to that vision. And then the whole Activision thing with the court trial, once you had to put Call of Duty and all these games on PlayStation, then there was really no point in acquiring Activision. That's just like a $70 billion more expense that you really didn't need to add. And what people don't understand is when you acquire Bethesda and Activision and Compulsion and Double Fine, right? You're paying the price for it, right? Like so you pay Activision $70 billion for Activision. Well, once you acquire that, it's not like you don't have to pay anything anymore. You still have hundreds and thousands of employees that work every single day that you have to make sure that at the end of the week they get their paycheck. So you're acquiring 70 billion, you're paying 70 billion for the company, but you still have to pay the Bethesda employees, the Compulsion employees, the Activision employees. Like they don't work for free. You still have expenses. You still have to pay their mortgage for their buildings, the light bill, the internet bill, the salaries of these employees. It really became a thing like, why did you do this, Xbox? Why did you do this? And now, years later, Asher Sharma has to come in as the big bad wolf and really kind of tear everything down and rebuild, which I think is for the smartest. That's the smartest decision. I don't like the fact that people lose their jobs. I hate it. I mean, I'm someone who works for an independent company, and every day I'm like, man, he can come in and just close down shop anytime, and I would be completely out of a job. And it sucks having to go to work and kind of worry about something like that. But at the same time, if we're looking objectively on it, Xbox had to do something. Fuck Microsoft. Xbox had to do something. And this is a horrible decision, but it had to be done. It had to be done. You had to start trimming a lot of the fat. And then you go over to PlayStation. PlayStation isn't much better. I've been saying for 2 years now, the PlayStation is anti-consumer. They raise the prices of their games. They raise the prices of their service. They getting rid of physical media. I mean, just anti-consumer practice after anti-consumer practice. Just one bad thing after another. And the reason why that they're raising their prices on everything is because they had like 12 to 14 live service games that failed, that either got canceled or either just straight up bombed and got scrapped later, and they have to make that money back to their shareholders. Shareholders are ruining the video game industry because it's all about making people rich and doesn't care about the games. And one thing that bothers me, I watched a lot of videos yesterday, and I'm just getting everybody, take on it with the whole bloodbath of Xbox laying people off. I hate the idea everybody's like, you're ruining the art of gaming. You're ruining the art of gaming. I'm an artist, and I can appreciate the art of gaming. But at the same time, games need to be fun, right? It's okay to have an artistic vision, but games need to be fun. Right? When you have something like Keeper or Kelm or whatever, right? Okay, yeah, it's very artistic, but it needs to be fun. And I hate when people say we can't have any artistry in the business anymore. Video games, the key word of video games is games. Games is meant to be fun, to be entertaining. And I feel like a lot of these smaller indie companies are spending so much money on these little artistic projects, but at the end of the day, they don't capture everybody's imagination. I like so many games, and this goes for AAA as well. So many games I pick up, and within 30 minutes, I'm already over it. Like I don't want to play this game. The fun isn't there anymore. And going back to PlayStation, I feel like a lot of PlayStation games are like that, where you look at the main PlayStation games. We're talking about God of War, Last of Us, Horizon, Spider-Man, even the upcoming Wolverine. All these games look and feel exactly the same. They kind of follow the same formula. The PlayStation exclusive has almost became Ubisoft formula like. I'm not saying they're as bad as Ubisoft. Don't put words in my mouth. I'm gonna have people in the comments going like, Rob, you're comparing PlayStation first party game. No, I'm not. I'm talking about, how Ubisoft games are very formulaic? PlayStation games have been very formulaic. It's their own particular formula, but it's their own formulaic style. Xbox does the same thing. You go over an Xbox, and it seems like every game that Xbox does is a first-person perspective, open-world RPG, whether it be Avowed, Outer Worlds 2, anything Bethesda makes, Starfield, Fallout, Elder Scrolls, whatever. They're all the first-person RPG. Avowed, Outer Worlds 2, Clockwork Revolution. All these games look and feel the same. There's no variety anymore. Where's the smaller fun factor game? It's one reason why I have switched over to indie games. Because a lot of indie games are just really, really fun. I've been playing a ton of AA and indie games because they're so fun, right? It's like, it feels like I'm playing games back in the early 90s to early 2000s, right? Like the 90s and early 2000s. Like it's games that people take a chance on and they're fun, they're platformers. I think like Kenna Bridge of Spirits, one of my favorite games in the past two generations. It's a platformer that has a great story about death and corruption and all that, but it's a great story. It's fun from the beginning. You don't just go through a tutorial, listen to it like 30 minutes of cutscenes, and you continue on. I think the gaming industry, let me digress here for a little bit, because I kind of went off the beaten path. It sucks that Xbox is laying a bunch of people off. I hate to see it. I don't think it's good. This is just bad management from both Phil Spencer and the Xbox team. We don't know for sure what exactly went wrong, but obviously there was conflicting visions. And PlayStation is no better with what they're doing, being just anti-consumer because they're going unchecked. If you guys are, a little bit older like me and you're into wrestling, we saw this play out in the wrestling world. We had WCW versus the WWF, and we got great wrestling for years. And then what happened was WCW made some bad decisions, ended up selling to WWE. WWE/WWF bought out WCW, and for many, many decades, it was only WWE. And the product sucked because they had no competition. It wasn't until AEW, well, earlier TNA, but then AEW came, and then they started building more competition. When a company has no competition, a company does not need to try hard to win you over, because what are you going to do? You're either going to play PlayStation or you're not going to game. Now, other people like me will go to PC or Nintendo or something like that, but for the most part, if you want to play Madden, you want to play NBA, if you want to be a ball and gun gamer, which a lot of people are nowadays, the average gamer now are ball and gun gamers. They care about their balls and they care about their guns, and they're shooting and they're live servicing and they're playing their NBA 2K and their Fortnite. They're just gonna pick the PlayStation because that is the marquee console. And it's gonna be anti-consumer because PlayStation knows they can get away with it. It sucks, but that's the reality of it. I hate the industry right now. It's an awful industry. That's why I mostly just stay to myself and play some older games and have fun doing that. But thank you guys for watching. Yeah, I just wanted to give my thoughts on it because it's a very bad and sucky situation. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you. Catch you guys next time.